Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily. I'm Nicholas Richardson and this is the news. In an interview for newspaper Dziennik Gazeta Prawna, Paweł Rabiej, the Vice President of Warsaw, set out the goals of the homosexual lobby in Poland. In first place comes the legalisation of the so-called civil partnerships, followed by the sanctioning of homosexual marriages and, finally, the adoption of children by gays and lesbians.
First, it was the LGBT+ declaration in the capital. Now it's Paweł Rabiej, the Vice President of Warsaw, saying that he would like to see the legalization of homosexual marriage and in the future gays and lesbians having the right to adopt children.
First, let people get used to the fact that homosexual partnership is not of itself evil. It does not destroy the community and the Polish family. Then it will be easier to take the next steps, marriage equality with adoption. In many countries, the adoption of children by homosexual couples is allowed and has not caused earthquakes.
Rabiej wrote on Twitter today.
In conjunction with an interview with editor Mazurek, in which questions were asked about my personal life, I declare that my response to them is purely private. It is neither the position of the town hall, nor Modern, nor the coalition. Let me emphasize, I'm very skeptical about the subject of adoption.
The mayor of Warsaw, Rafał Trzaskowski, reacted to Rabiej's words.
The actions of Warszawa are guided by the fight against the lack of tolerance. Statements that go beyond the program of the European coalition can destroy our efforts to fight hatred. I instructed Vice President Rabiej to deal only with the tasks I set for him.
Eugeniusz Kłopotek from the Polish People's Party, who has joined the European coalition for the elections to the European Parliament, gave an assurance that he will never support gay marriage.
From the very beginning, I said that my party should not join the European coalition and I will never support the legalization of homosexual marriage.
The Civic Platform Party disassociated itself from this as well.
There is no such policy on our platform.
According to Jan Dziedzicek, the adoption of children by homosexual couples is one of the next stages which sooner or later will be included in the objectives of those who want to legalize the so-called homosexual marriages.
This was a moment of honesty. In all the countries where there is the possibility of homosexual unions, adopting children was not mentioned, only it was the next stage.
Publicist Rafał Ziemkiewicz's activities regarding the legalization of homosexual relationships and finally the adoption of children may be compared to the activities of the Communist Revolution.
Today, having been 50 years old, I hear that there are already homosexual marriages recognized as normal, so we have to. I was hearing for dozens of years that everywhere in country after country socialism was winning. This socialism won until 86, 87 and then collapsed.
It is hard to notice what the Vice President of Warsaw said openly what many of the European coalition politicians are afraid to say in fear of electoral defeat. For the overwhelming majority of Poles, the adoption of children by homosexuals is unacceptable.
The intensive negotiations concerning strengthening the American military presence in Poland, beyond the rotating NATO battalions, are still continuing. The NATO Supreme Allied Commander Europe, General Curtis Scaparotti, recommended establishing a permanent base during a hearing before the United States Congress.
According to the Rzeczpospolita newspaper, Americans are ready to increase their military presence in Poland, but to a limited extent. The rest of the American soldiers would function in a constant rotation system. The offer concerning strengthening the permanent American military bases in Poland is confidential. According to the Rzeczpospolita newspaper, the United States Undersecretary of Defense John Rood was expected to present this offer on Wednesday in Warsaw. The Supreme Allied Commander Europe was asked about the permanent American military bases in our country on the same day.
I'm perfectly content with the large forces that we're rotating today. I get a ready force. I send it home ready. And the other thing is I get a large component of our Army that's been to Europe and understands the mission there. So there's some goodness in that. Some of the enablers, etc., some of the headquarters, a more permanent base is helpful because of the relationships you build and the mission they have. So you'll see a little bit of a combination there from my point of view.
The former Minister of National Defense, Antoni Macierewicz, emphasized the political benefits resulting from a permanent American military presence in Poland.
From the geopolitical and political safety point of view, of course, permanent American military bases in Poland are very important. In the history of the last 70 to 80 years, an attack on a country which has permanent American bases didn't happen. A permanent American military base, for example a brigade, we wanted some time ago, a division, is a nightmare for the Russian Kremlin and it's coming true.
According to the Rzeczpospolita newspaper, America is considering a location of permanent American air bases in Poland.
Permanent American air bases in Poland are even more important than military bases because they are the first line of defense.
According to the United States Department of Defense, negotiations concerning the matter of strengthening permanent American military bases in Poland may last from 6 to 12 months.
The Prime Minister of Poland, Mateusz Morawiecki, was an honoured guest at the Hungarian national holiday celebrations today. Both Polish and Hungarian heads of government gave speeches at a rally in Budapest. The two countries have been close allies for centuries, something which was clearly evident on the Hungarian streets today, where thousands of Poles came to celebrate the Hungarian national holiday.
Byliśmy zawsze razem, walcząc.
We have always stood together, fighting side by side for freedom. We also want to stand side by side to fight for a better tomorrow in the future. This longing for freedom can be easily seen when we look at the history of our countries. Today, just as 171 years ago, we are standing in defense of the truth, solidarity, ordinary people and freedom. Mr. Prime Minister, dear Hungarians celebrating home and abroad, and dear Poles, who are with us today just like they were in 1848 and in the 20th century, welcome. Mr. Prime Minister, please accept the most sincere wishes from the Hungarian nation. Without Poles, there wouldn't be a free Hungary and Europe wouldn't be able to unite. Poles gave us St. John Paul II and the Solidarity movement. You changed history. We could break free and regain our nation's independence. We, Hungarians, bow before you.
Elżbieta Rafalska, the Polish Minister of Family, Labour and Social Policy, has said that her ministry is ready for a debate about the Sunday trading ban. Rafalska also mentioned opinion polls which show that Poles are increasingly in agreement with the need for the Sunday trading ban, which allows supermarket workers to have a day off at the end of the week.
The research shows that Poles have got used to the so-called no-work Sunday. It seems that Sunday family time is really valued among us. What's more, it looks like Poles know quite well when they can and can't go shopping, which is proven by the fact that 60% of people polled knew about the 2019 change in the frequency of trade-free Sundays. We're well organized as a nation. We Poles are often portrayed as messy and chaotic, but it has no grounds in reality today.
That's the news. Thank you for watching. Do stay with us for the weather, business and more besides. But from me, it's have a good night and a better tomorrow.